growing vertically to optimize the space you have, growing a productive garden in small spaces. All this and more in today's episode. So our first tip for today is how to utilize your garden space and grow vertically. By growing vertically, you make sure that you really optimize your growing space because you can grow a lot more fruits and vegetables and even herbs in a small space. So what you're seeing here is a growing rack which basically has multiple racks and a lot of space between the racks to allow sunlight to come in. And you can buy this kind of a growing rack very easily. We bought ours from Costco for just $25, and I'm sure that you can buy this at other places as well. If you do not have a Costco in your area, I will provide a link by which you can buy the product on Amazon.com. Now what you're seeing here is plants that do not grow very tall. You would use a growing rack to grow plants that are not very tall, and some examples of those plants are some microgreens like fenugreek. You can grow a lot of herbs like mint. You can even use the bottommost rack to keep your garden equipment and then use the other racks for growing. So you could grow strawberries, for example, which do not grow very tall. And then you can use the topmost rack to grow crops that would grow taller than the others, like kohlrabis and carrots and a lot of other vegetables and fruits and herbs that you usually grow. Now, one thing that you really need to ensure is that the sunlight that's coming onto your growing rack gets evenly distributed not only on the top part but also on the other tiers. And by buying a growing rack which has these perforated shelves, you make sure that all the sunlight that's coming from the top of your rack goes all the way down. The containers that you use for growing vertically also need not be expensive. I got these containers from the 99-cent store, and for 99 cents these make great containers for vertical growing. You just need to drill holes in the containers that don't have holes for drainage and then use them just like you would any other pots. And while you're at the dollar store or the 99-cent store, you can pick up a lot of exciting gardening equipment for about $1 or $2. Our next tip in this episode is how do you utilize smaller containers and grow a lot of fruits, vegetables, and herbs. So what you see here is a baking tray which we got from Costco as well, and they're really cheap because you buy them in bulk. And I'm sowing some radish seeds here. This radish variety is called Champion, and you will soon see that it's so easy to grow your own vegetables in this small container. So all you need to do is get a baking tray like this, which is about 6 inches high, and fill in some potting soil or potting mix or any ready to use potting mix that you can find, and you have your growing medium. And as you can see, these radish seedlings have now germinated and they're growing really well. So if you're like me, if you do not have a lot of space, I live in a city which really has a very less growing area. Growing in containers like these baking trays and using growing racks will give you the opportunity to grow fresh vegetables in your garden. So all those of you who are living in apartments or condos or even houses in cities that do not have a large yard, you now do not have any excuse to not grow your own vegetables and fresh produce at home. So as you can see, these radish roots are probably about 2 or 3 inches, and this size growing container, which is about 4 to 6 inches, is more than enough for you to grow things like microgreens, some herbs, and leafy greens like lettuce, spinach, amaranth greens, and a lot of other vegetables and herbs that do not have a very dense root system. So I hope you liked today's episode, and I hope that it inspires you to grow your own fresh produce, no matter how small of a yard or garden you have. And remember, even though you can grow less produce in smaller areas, it is still better than buying fruits and vegetables from the supermarket, simply because they're just so fresh and so delicious and very healthy. You know exactly what's going into your fruits and vegetables and herbs, and this is the best way you can lead a very healthy life, free from pesticides and other things that are bad for your health. So show us your green thumb and get going. You'll not only be doing a great thing for yourself, but also a great thing for this environment. Happy gardening!